Jeremy Clarkson, famous for his no-nonsense attitude and sharp tongue, is at it again. This time, he's not just talking about fast cars or farming mishaps. No, he's taken aim at something far bigger. A hidden crisis in the UK that, according to him, has been brewing under the surface while most people weren't paying attention. And here's the kicker. Tommy Robinson, a figure who has long been both controversial and vocal about the state of the nation, was supposedly right all along. But what exactly did Clarkson reveal, and why is it sending shockwaves through Britain? Clarkson is no stranger to controversy, but this time it's different. A recent live broadcast showed him delving into issues that many in the mainstream media tend to tiptoe around. With his signature mix of sarcasm and brutal honesty, he exposed what he calls a crisis of leadership, accountability, and national identity. While he didn't explicitly endorse Robinson, he acknowledged that some of the issues Robinson had been warning about were indeed unfolding: rising crime, economic struggles, and growing concerns about free speech. Now, let's get one thing straight. Jeremy Clarkson and Tommy Robinson are not exactly ideological twins. Clarkson is a household name, a mainstream media figure, while Robinson has long been a polarizing figure, often dismissed by critics as an agitator. But what happens when a mainstream personality starts echoing concerns that were once considered fringe? That's where things get interesting. So, what exactly did Clarkson say? Well, in his typical style, he didn't hold back. He pointed out the growing disconnect between the British public and those in power, highlighting how the average citizen feels unheard, overtaxed, and increasingly alienated in their own country. He took specific aim at the rising cost of living, questioning why hard-working Brits are struggling while politicians seem more focused on ideological debates than real solutions. He also touched on crime, stating bluntly that parts of the UK feel less safe than they did a decade ago. And this is where things start to overlap with what Tommy Robinson has been saying for years. Robinson has long argued that certain communities have been neglected, that crime statistics are often downplayed, and that free speech is under threat. Clarkson, while not going as far as Robinson, admitted that there is a real debate to be had, one that many are afraid to even start. The reaction? As expected, it was explosive. Some praised Clarkson for having the courage to speak his mind, arguing that he's one of the few public figures who isn't afraid to call things as he sees them. Others, however, were less impressed, accusing him of flirting with dangerous rhetoric or playing into divisive narratives. But here's the thing. Clarkson didn't go on an extreme rant. He simply pointed out problems that many Brits feel are real, and that in itself was enough to spark a nationwide debate. And let's not forget the media's role in all of this. When Tommy Robinson speaks, he's often dismissed outright, with many refusing to engage with his arguments. But when Clarkson, a figure with mainstream credibility, starts saying similar things, well, that's when people start paying attention. The media response has been mixed, with some outlets rushing to downplay his comments, while others acknowledge that his criticisms hold weight. At the heart of all this is a bigger question. How did we get here? Why is it that issues once considered off-limits are now becoming mainstream discussions? Perhaps it's because people are feeling the effects of these problems in their everyday lives. Rising prices, concerns about crime, frustrations with bureaucracy. These aren't abstract political debates, they're real issues that affect millions. So where does this leave us? Is Jeremy Clarkson's take on the UK's crisis a wake-up call, or just another headline in an endless cycle of outrage? One thing's for sure. When someone like Clarkson speaks out, people listen. Whether you agree with him or not, his words have reignited a conversation that isn't going away anytime soon. What do you think? Is Clarkson simply stating the obvious, or is he stepping into dangerous territory? One thing's certain, this debate isn't over.